Hey, it's Danielle, and I am finally back with another Project Life video. I know it's been forever since I've done one of these, and I am super behind in my album, but I had to do an In Your Pocket video over on the Crafty Maven Getaway team, and that really got me inspired to open up that album and tackle that project again. So that is my goal for the next little bit, is to get caught up on that. So I don't know if I'm just going to quickly do those layouts without filming them or worrying about that, and then maybe do an album share of the layouts that you missed, or if I'm gonna just, I thought about maybe having like a big week of Project Life where I just tackle it and film it and show it. So I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but either way, I'm going to get caught up and make this a weekly routine again. Now, I'm just showing you some of the products that I'm going to be using today. I'm still really loving the One Little Bird products. I got on their website and bought a bunch of the kits that I haven't had yet, or I should say a bunch of the journaling card sets. And I'm going to be working with one of those today. Now, when I don't regularly do Project Life every week, I really quickly get out of the habit of taking photos. So when I sat down to do this week, I only had 3 pictures to work with. So what I decided to do was make one side of my layout be a 12 by 12 layout. I haven't scrapbooked my YouTube story, or I've never really documented anything about YouTube, and so I decided that I would just get on my YouTube channel, take some screenshots of some of the things, and then use those photos to tell that story. Now, you just saw that I pulled out the journaling cards that I'm going to be working with, just so you could see some of the cards that came in this set. It has a real beachy nautical feel to it, which doesn't match the theme of this week, but I liked the colors, so I just picked some of the cards that, you know, like this gray and white striped. It could go on any week. So now I printed out all these photos at 4x4, and I'm just going to center this all in the middle of my layout. And I have this wood grain tag that I absolutely love, and I wanted to use that gray and white striped paper. So I decided to piece them together to make that 4th square, which I could have probably pulled that gray and white striped card into Photoshop and made it a 4x4 square, but having that tag kind of stick off the edge adds a little bit of interest to the layout, so I think that it looks cute. So I'm just fiddling around with it and making sure that that tag is sticking out at the right angle that I guess have in my mind. So I type up my journaling, then I just printed it out on computer paper. And sometimes, well, most of the time I'll print things out on like a white cardstock or something like that, but sometimes I'll just print it out on the paper that's in my computer, because I just like the look of computer paper on the layout. Sometimes it's not quite as thin as like a tissue paper, but you can definitely kind of see through it. It's just almost like an airy type fill. So I decided to use that today. I printed out my title card on computer paper as well, and then my journaling. And now I'm just layering some vellum behind that, behind my journaling. And the first vellum I cut was a little bit too small, and so I go to cut another one, but I don't have quite enough paper left over, quite enough of that vellum left over to make as big of a piece as I want. So I just take the 2 pieces that I do have, and I kind of make them be messy layers so that you can kind of see more of them stick out in some spots than others, and I call that good and get it down on the layout. And then the last thing that I'm going to be doing on this layout is putting these little word strips down, and they say, let go of your fears, find your courage, and be brave and do it. And anybody who's done a process video knows that all of those phrases apply to kind of putting yourself out there in such a major way. So I just use my little tape runner to get these down, and then I call that good. So now I'm working on the other side of my layout, and I'm actually going to take design a page protector and cut it in half. so that I have less pockets that I have to work with. And the 3 photos that you see right there are the only photos that I have of this week. So they aren't even anything super great. I have that one of London helping Tony mow the lawn, which is super cute, but the other ones are not even that great. But I just work with it, and I'm especially when you're playing catch up, you can't make a big deal about things. You kind of just have to go with it. So that's what I'm doing. Now, as I talked about earlier, I printed out my title card on computer paper, so that has that same kind of see-through airy feel. And I just cut it down into a smaller strip. And then I put that on a piece of white cardstock, and I'm going to be stitching that down later. And then I start working on this. Oh, actually I don't. I get the date put on there. So I'm just using my date stamp like I always do. I do my title cards basically the same way every week, which I like. I like the repetition of that. I'm just going to be doing a messy stamp. So I'm just kind of stamping it until I can't see the ink come off anymore. And then that is good. And now is when I fill out this summer faves card. Now this was a long time ago, and I obviously didn't take very many pictures. I didn't have anything to really go off of. And I find when that's the case, making a list like this is kind of the easiest thing to do. I can address kind of some of the things in the photos and then fill in some of the other things I know, but I don't have to write anything longer in depth, so it's okay to just do little snippets. So now that that's done, I'm going to just very simply embellish this side of my layout. I'm going to use this metal ren tag, and then I have that bowl full of those little chipboard hearts, and I'm going to find one in there that matches my layout. Now that bottom photo, you see that I have a Graze box, which is kind of a snack subscription. I think you can get it weekly or bi-weekly or monthly. We were getting them every other week, and it was fun. I think this is when we first started getting them, so they were exciting to come in the mail. Since this time, we have canceled that subscription. We no longer get it, but it was fun when it was happening. And then on the other side of that photo is a pocket letter. I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard of that, but it was right about this time that I had discovered those. I thought they seemed fun, so I kind of participated in that for a little bit. And I even think I took this photo to send to my mom to show her. I never thought it would be something that would be going into my project life, but when you only have 3 photos, you kind of want to use them, so that's what I did. Now, I have this cork piece that says, "Love this," and I just put that on that photo of my daughter helping Tony mow the lawn because, gosh, you just can't get any cuter than that photo. I love it to death. And that little banner has 2 little holes in it. And so I decide to take this little piercer and poke the holes in it so that I can stitch through it with some thread. And on my desk, I already had this pink thread, and it was already thread through the needle. And so I just went with that. There was already that pink heart on there, so I thought that it would all match. And so I just stitched a few stitches through it. And now I'm going to take this washi tape and secure my ends down so that everything stays in place. And then after this, I take my cards over to my sewing machine and I stitch them. So you can see I did a couple messy stitches to that title card, and then I did 1 stitch around my layout. And I think every week I've done some stitching on my layout. I just really, really like the way it looks in the Project Life album for some reason. But I tend to stitch a lot on my traditional layouts too. But I'm just cutting off all of the threads and getting the ends secured down so that they don't fall out. And then you'll see I'm just going to tidy everything up, make sure everything is stuck down real good. And then I always lay it out all together so that I can get a good feel for what it looks like and make sure I don't need to add anything else. And this is when I decided I really don't like that pink thread. And I actually traded out for some twine that's a little bit thicker and white. I don't know, something about it I just like better. And so it doesn't take me very long just to switch that out. And then I call this layout good. So I wanted to say, if you want to see another Project Life spread from me today, head on over to the Crafty Maven Getaway YouTube channel. I will put a link down below to my video. It's In Your Pocket Tuesday, so I did another Project Life spread over there. And then I also wanted to let you know that I got my blog up and running. I am banninglane.blogspot.com. I've had that blog for a while. I just hadn't done anything with it. It was super intimidating to me. But I really wanted a place to hold stories, and that's why I started that blog to begin with. And I just decided to tackle that this weekend. So I will also put a link to my blog down below so that you can check that out. So thanks so much for watching, and hopefully we'll see you all real soon. All right, bye-bye, guys.